Hi, my name is Arthur. Today we're going to talk about SMART goals, define what those are, and then apply them to the sport of football. So, as a coach, you're thinking about ways to get results from the athletes. You don't really know. Um, Most coaches like to use what we call SMART goals, and SMART goals are defined as specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. So, we're going to go a little bit more in depth and tell you what those mean. So, first thing we're going to talk about is specificity. The main thing about being specific is the individualization of the actual thing you're performing and knowing who your athlete is. So that way, you know who's doing what, you know that person's limitations as opposed to another's. Um, you establish a time frame, you establish where this is going to take place, so that way the goal is as specific as can be, and you leave out any room for for you to just to pass it by, because now it's completely defined. So now you have a set plan that you can work from. And in terms of football, this is really good for using this between your skill positions and your linemen, and realizing what kind of positions each athlete plays, so you can kind of tailor the individual drills to those athletes. For instance, a quarterback drill, the goal for a quarterback is going to be different than the goal for that of a receiver. So you tailor the drills to get those specific athletes to reach those goals, and in turn you end up with different drills because you have now made those drills specific to the athlete and specific to their position within the field. Alright, so the next steps in making SMART goals is making sure your goal is measurable. And when I say that, you want to make sure you ask questions like how much, how many, how do I know my goal is accomplished? So you set target dates and you set smaller goals along the way, and you work to achieve those goals along the road to your overall goal. So for example, you got a star linebacker. You want them to be bench pressing about 350 pounds by the start of a season, which is roughly end of August, beginning of September. Right now is March, so he's benching 290 pounds max. So you set target dates. You might set a date in again to be measured in June, and then to be measured in July. Maybe even skip July, go to August. It's all about how you want to define it, but you set those dates and you set those target dates to make sure you're keeping track of your goal along the way and you're measuring your progress. So the third thing you want to do is make sure your goal is attainable, and the only way to do that is to make sure you got a plan in place. And when you do that, you want to make sure you follow that plan, and the more you follow it, the more the goal seems to become attainable. The closer you get to it, because you keep knocking down the obstacles along the way, you keep achieving the smaller goals one after another. You start to build confidence, you grow from it, and then as you get closer to your overall goal, it starts to become more of a reality and seems more attainable, because you have now grown through achieving the goals that you set within this plan. Moving on, the next thing you want to do when setting these goals are making sure the goals are actually realistic. And you're not going to tell a 150-pound guy to try and lift 350 pounds, within the next 6 months, just because what's the likelihood of that happening? So you just want to keep in mind that your goal is challenging, all the while still within the athlete's capabilities of achieving, so you don't offset that athlete's motivation as a coach, and they in turn become positively motivated to achieve the goals. Lastly, to sum it all up, when you're making your SMART goals, you just want to make sure you have a time-based goal. And pretty much, you just want to put a time frame to it. By when do you want to reach your goal? When you put your athletes on a plan, give them a date that you expect them to have reached that goal. So that way, it gives them a sense of urgency and something to work towards. Because without a time frame, you're more likely to just goof off and not really work as hard, as opposed to giving yourself a time frame, and now in the back of your mind, unconsciously you have to go get this, get this accomplished. So that's SMART goals in football. Again, I'm Arthur. Thanks for watching.